Hi, I'm Michael Masumoto. Your timing is perfect. Kai and I were just about to celebrate the completion of our first major art furniture piece, the Fantasium. Seven years. 4 years training, 3 years building this one object. Finally, it's complete. Let's take this moment in the company of our friends to say hallelujah. Cheers. Kai and I opened Masumoto Herd with one purpose: to resurrect the artistry and craftsmanship of the Belle Epoque in original works of modern art furniture. Thus began the single most challenging period of our entire lives. The Belle Epoque was a seminal period in Western art history, the rise of early modernism, when experimentation in music, literature, and the arts became more radical, more stylized. This is the period of Frank Lloyd Wright and Charles Rennie Mackintosh. It's also the period of Art Nouveau masters like Émile Gallé and Louis Majorelle employing factories of hand craftsmen to produce the ultimate in luxury furniture. The Belle Epoque is generally considered to be the zenith of art furniture making. But the factories which made ultra-luxury pieces like these disappeared a long time ago, victims of mass production. Oh, the skills have been preserved, even improved with advances in technology. But few have been willing to invest the years of time and the healthy six figures required to produce one object of this quality. Still, Kai and I are relentless perfectionists. We were determined to make modern originals at the level of these Art Nouveau masterworks. In place of endangered tropical hardwoods, Kai and I used two of the most beautiful New World woods, South American walnut and North American black walnut, building panels, struts, even an entire tree for many hundreds of individually fitted pieces. We combined these sculpted elements with panes of kiln-formed glass, built from powders applied layer upon layer with thimble-sized sifters. There was no process too labor-intensive for Kai and myself. We slaved over every aspect of our Fantasia, especially its design. Kai and I have somewhat differing aesthetics. I am a devotee of the sinuous asymmetry of Art Nouveau, while Kai prefers the stripped-down geometries of Art Deco. As our principal designer, it's my responsibility to incorporate both our aesthetics into the final design, and we both had input. That said, the core of the Fantasium design stems from my own personal journey and my fascination with classic Disney animation. The language of leaves and flowers has been expressed through art furniture for centuries. Majorelle's 1903 Bureau aux Orchidées is one example. Gallet's 1893 dresser, Le Chemin d'Automne, is another. These pieces are amazing works of art, but more decorative than emotional. On the other hand, Disney's 1940 film masterpiece, Fantasia, took the language of leaves and flowers to new heights of emotional power. These clips from the Tchaikovsky Waltz of the Flower sequence most influenced the design of our Fantasium. Oh, this sequence is iconic, the way it expresses the joy of the natural world, yet also its ephemeral nature. Every frame, so beautiful, so filled with life, and yet symbolically, every image is about the end of something, the conclusion of a natural cycle. The storm begins. As leaves spin into the void, you feel winter, and thus death, moving ever closer. Are we about to die? Or will something follow this storm? There is a desperate longing here. If only we could turn back the hands of time, But the cycle of nature is inexorable and immutable. Everything must come to its natural end. But the end is really another beginning. Winter arrives, and we are swept into the next stage of the cycle. The Waltz of the Flowers is a promise of renewal. Its dance, a celebration of the now. It uplifts the cycle of life and death with a joyous stylization of ephemeral beauty. As I began to design the Fantasium in 2010, I became haunted by the Waltz of the Flowers. I had recently recovered from an extremely debilitating illness, so I wanted the design to celebrate my release, to elevate my experience, to evoke this passion that I felt. I wanted the viewer to share in this happy, sad feeling of poignant, tempered but rapturous joy. So I adapted techniques that I saw in the Waltz of the Flowers and used its language of symbolism and motion and color to evoke those feelings. The Fantasium depicts the last brilliant flowering of beauty and life, which sometimes occurs on the brink of death. A Japanese maple tree, a symbol of harmony and peace, dances in the wind, its anthropomorphic leaves tossed into the air in a celebration of living. I tried to capture a moment of joy at its most ephemeral and make it last forever. Whether the leaves are about to be sucked into the vortex or fall to the ground is irrelevant. However fragile they might be, now they are eternally lovely. The tree, grounded, draws strength from the earth. The light streaming through the breaks in the leaves, I pictured as the white light of the beyond. The Fantasium tree literally stands in the doorway between life and death, but its dance celebrates living. The tree has turned its back on death to revel in the here and now, and by so doing, creates a moment of supreme loveliness. The Fantasium tree serves as a reminder. It's better to appreciate what we have than to fixate on what we don't have. We need to celebrate what is and what can be to the fullest and act accordingly, rather than focus on things over which we have no control. Well, that's what Kai and I believe, and that's what we did. And I think the result speaks for itself. Kai and I are very proud of what we've accomplished. 3 years of hard slog, but it was worth it. In future videos, I'll talk more about the wood and the glass and what it took to bring the Fantasium to fruition. In the meantime, thanks for coming. We're so glad you could join us. To life!